Intermediate Color Wheel Part 1. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the first fourth grade art lesson of the school year. Before we get started, I want to take care of some unfinished business. The first project that I gave out, the name card project, some of you have turned it into me, some of you have yet to turn it into me. For those of you who have yet to turn it into me, I need it by this Friday, September 25th. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you the project we're going to be doing. It comes in two parts. And then afterwards, I'm going to talk a little bit about the learning targets, some of the vocabulary, and afterwards, we're going to get started with part one of the project. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to start the project with a plain piece of white paper. Needs to be white paper. Copy paper is fine, or if there's some other kind of white paper you have, but it does need to be white paper because we're going to be doing colors on it. Now, by the end of the project, you're going to get something, well, I'm going to just show you one of mine that I did before, and I did this quite a while back. But it's going to be an intermediate color wheel. And I'll explain to you about intermediate colors in a little bit. Some of the learning targets, first of all, one learning target is going to be, and you can look at the computer this too, because it's all on the computer as far as that goes. But one of the learning targets is going to be able to fold a piece of paper into 12 equal sections. That's important because we're going to be making 12 different colors here. Another thing is to neatly color 3 of the sections using the primary colors yellow, red, and blue. Because that is the 3 primary colors, yellow, red, and blue. From the primary colors, you have your secondary colors. 2 primary colors mixed together make a secondary color. Your yellow, and I know this is a review for you, but your yellow and your red make orange, your yellow and your blue make green, and your blue and your red make violet or purple. Those are secondary colors. And what you're going to do is you're going to color the last 3 sections of the white paper. You're going to color 3 sections with the yellow, 3 sections with the red, 3 sections with the blue. And the last 3 sections, you're going to color 1 orange, you're going to color 1 violet, and you're going to color 1 green. And that's in the examples too on the computer. And then after that, what we're going to do is we're going to make intermediate colors. What an intermediate color is, it's a combination of the primary color with the secondary color next to it on the color wheel. So on the color wheel, from what you might remember before, from the 6 color wheel thing with the primary colors and the secondary colors, you have a primary color yellow, and next to the primary color on the color wheel yellow is a secondary color green. Now, if you mix the yellow and the green together, you're going to get yellow-green, and that's an intermediate color. Same thing with the yellow and the orange, which are next to each other on the color wheel too. You mix them together, you'll get yellow-orange. And if you mix the blue and the green together, which are next to each other on the color wheel, you'll get a color called blue-green. And you mix blue and violet together on the color wheel, that's going to give you a blue-violet color. Also, if you mix red and orange, which are next to each other on the color wheel, you'll get red-orange. And finally, if you mix red and violet together, red and violet are next to each other on the color wheel, you're going to get the red-violet. And those are your intermediate colors. Now, and I just pretty much went over the vocabulary with you too about primary color, secondary color, and intermediate color. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the supplies you're going to need. You're going to need something to color with. Could be paint, crayons, markers, colored pencils. But you're going to need these colors. You're going to need your three primary colors, your yellow, your red, and your blue. And the three secondary colors, the orange, the green, and the violet or purple. Also going to need a piece of wet paper, as I mentioned before. And it's a good idea to have a ruler too, because you want to kind of keep these sections that you're coloring, you want to keep them separate from each other. You don't want them running into each other. So it would be a good idea for some of you. It's not necessary, but I used it on mine. I used a ruler to get them all sorted out or separated the way they need to be. Okay, now to the project itself. First thing you need to do is you're going to need to fold this paper into 12 sections. To do that, you're going to start off by going ahead and folding it like a book in half. And it needs to be the short way too. Well, I guess I should show you up here. Try matching the corners up with each other as good as you can get them. And I'll try doing the same here. And fold it in half here, sort of like a book. Then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to fold it in half again, but you're not going up and down here. What you're going to do is you're going to take the part that's already folded and you're going to line it up with the edge of the paper and you're going to fold it once again like this. So that if you unfolded it, you would have 4 sections. 1, 2, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Yeah, I guess you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. But you're not going to unfold yours right now. You need to keep it folded. I folded mine up, but I'm going to have it back here like this. Okay. Now, the best way I can tell you to do it we got to fold this now into 3 sections here. The best way I could probably tell you to do this is to try doing it so you make it look, the first part you fold up looks like a square. And the square has the same size on each 4 corners, or on each 4 sides here. So you're going to want to fold it so, and this is hard for you to see, but you're going to want to fold it so the part that you fold up looks like a square. And the part over here that hasn't been folded yet looks like the same size square. And then finally, what you're going to do is you're going to take the part that's not folded yet. You're going to need to take that and you're going to fold it over. And that will give you 12, hopefully closely equally squares here. Once again, I know it's hard to see, but there we go. If I get the right camera light on it every now and then, it's okay. So that's the first step. And now we will go into the coloring part of it. As I mentioned before, you're going to need to color 3 sections with the primary color yellow. I'm just going to kind of outline it with the ruler so you can see this. I'm not going to make you sit there and watch me color the whole thing, because that would be a waste of a lot of good time. But I'm going to do 3 sections with the yellow. And I'll just go like this for now so you know these 3 sections are yellow. By the way, when you color them, You want to make sure, because we're going to be mixing colors, you want, whether you use crayon, marker, colored pencil, paint, whatever you use, you want to make sure there's no white paper showing. Because when we mix these on the next step, or on a step later on in this lesson, if you mix them and there's white paper showing, they're not going to be good mixes. You want them to be good mixes. Okay, these next three sections here are going to be your red sections over here. After that, we're going to go with one blue section. And actually, I messed it up a little bit. I guess it doesn't matter. As long as you got three blue sections, three yellow sections, three red sections, you're cool. And then what you're going to need to do too is you're going to need to have a green section, one green section. And this is a little bit different order than my final product here, but I'll show you that in a minute. Okay. Green, orange, and violet. Except not necessarily in that order. Here's the order I actually want them in before you get started. I'm going to just show you the project, what it should look like when you're done with this first step. At the top, you should have 1, 2, 3 yellow, followed by a square of green. Middle, 1, 2, 3 blue, with a section of violet. And at the bottom, 1, 2, 3 green, with one section of orange. So go ahead and do that first step, and I will show you what to do very, very soon. Right now, I need to go ahead and to stop the video. Okay, I'm back now. I think I stopped it. Hopefully I just paused it actually, but I don't know. Anyhow, now that you have it like this, I'm going to show you how to mix. This is where the fun part comes in. This is where we're going to do some mixing. Now, a couple of these colors with the yellow, they're not going to look too much different than their natural color when they're mixing, especially if you're using markers like I'm using here. If you're using crayons or paint, or even colored pencils, possibly a little bit more. But I'll show you how to kind of remedy that too and everything. Now, first of all, what you're going to need to do here is we're going to start off on top with the yellow. This first square over here, one up here at the left, what I'm going to need to do with that one is I'm going to need to take the orange and I'm going to fill it in with orange. And that's going to give me my yellow-orange color. Very important that you go over the whole thing as you're doing it too. Because you want it totally colored over with orange. I'm gonna have a little bit of a problem over here doing that because I got my sticky tack stuff right over here. But I think I'll be able to do it. Okay, that's good. Now, the next one I'm going to leave plain old yellow. After that, though, I'm going to have this other yellow square here right next to the green. This is the one I am going to fill in with the green to give me a yellow-green color. Once again, it's going to look more green than yellow, but once it dries, you'll be able to tell the difference between the two a little bit. For now, not so much. Once again, you want to get a nice clean mix, though. You don't want any pure yellow to be showing. All right. So now I have my yellow-orange, yellow, yellow-green, green, and over here in this section over here, the first blue section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix that with the green also to give myself blue-green, or kind of a teal color. A lot of you might recognize it as. Once again, when you're doing this, make sure that every part of the blue gets a little bit of green over it. Want this to be a solid color, not two colors when it's done. Two colors are going to be mixed to become one. Ready? Now the next blue section is going to remain blue. It's not going to change. But the last blue section here next to this violet, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix it with the violet over here. And that's going to give me the intermediate color blue violet, which happens to be one of my favorite colors. It is actually my favorite color. Kind of like an indigo color. Once again, make sure it's covered. The entire square here is colored with the violet. So you get that blue violet. And after that, we have two more colors to mix here. Next one I'm going to mix is going to be down here at the bottom left corner over here, this square over here that's red, I'm going to also mix red with the violet here. That's going to give me red violet, which is kind of a plum color. Looks like the color of a plum when it dries. Once again, make sure it's entirely colored with the violet. Should be no pure red showing in it when you're through. This one's by the corner, so I'm going to have a little bit of difficulty over here because of the sticky tack on it. But that's my problem, not yours. If you're coloring like I am on the edge there, you probably want something underneath it to keep it off your parents' table. Okay. And that is all mixed up there too. I know from where you're looking right now, it's probably looking black or brown, but trust me, when it dries, it's gonna be red violet. It's gonna sort of look like I said, like a plum color. Got one more to mix here. Last one I am going to mix is going to be, I'm gonna leave this one over here, the one right next to the one I just did, this red, I'm gonna leave plain old red. But this one over here, this red next to the orange, is where I'm going to mix it with the orange to make red orange. Pretty soon we'll be seeing a lot of leaves that look this color. Nice autumn color here. All right. Once again, make sure there's no red showing through. And we got all the intermediate colors mixed now. Have your yellow-orange, yellow-green, blue-green, blue-violet, red-violet, and red-orange. I do have a little suggestion for those of you who want to get your yellow-green, your yellow-orange, and your yellow-green a little bit lighter. What you can do is once they dry, if you're using markers, I think that's the only one that's probably going to give you a problem, but if you're using markers, once they dry, you can go ahead and run yellow over them again, and that'll lighten them up a little bit. Yellow over this yellow-orange and yellow over this yellow-green, that'll lighten it up a little bit, and then afterwards your marker will be dirty, so you just have to go ahead and you'll have to color on another piece of paper or something till it comes out, but it will come out eventually. Okay, that's it for this week. Now what I need you to do is, I don't need you to turn this in or show it to me, but you need to have it ready for next week for part 2, okay? So make sure you have this colored like I have mine colored. Have a terrific week, and I will talk to you soon.